Hi, this is Dwyer from gamblersadvisory.com, a sports advisory site, as well as cashupdate.info and keepingitfree.blogspot.com. I'm here to talk about the bailout of GM using taxpayer money. I believe the current count is we've spent more than $30 billion to help GM save it from bankruptcy. Of course, GM has since filed for bankruptcy. And here in California, we're wondering why the 74,000 jobs that we're trying to save by paying more than $30 billion is more valuable to our economy than the 30 plus million people who live in California. Understand that right now our unemployment rate is much higher than the national average. The national average, as of today, June 9th, 2009, is 9.4% officially, not counting, of course, people who've given up looking for work. It's been so bleak. Here in California, here in Silicon Valley, where I'm a lawyer, the unemployment rate here is 10.9%. In LA County, home of one of the biggest cities in the United States, Los Angeles, the unemployment rate officially has been 12% for more than a month. So again, we're wondering, what is it about GM's 74,000 jobs that makes it more important to the American economy than the tens of millions of people in states like California? Our state debt is less than the amount of money that we've thrown so far at GM. Let me also point out, too, that it's not as if GM is the only American automobile maker. We have Ford. And of course, Ford's been better run than GM. Ford doesn't have the financial difficulties GM has. So why would the American taxpayer want to put a mismanaged company on the same footing as Ford? What are we trying to do? Reward inefficiency? It seems that we're penalizing the more productive player in the space by propping up and throwing more money than it would take to balance California's books at their competitor. Also, let's think for a second. If you do a quick Google search online, you might be astonished to learn that in February of 2008, GM itself offered each of the 74,000 workers buyouts of up to $140,000. How many people do you know who make that much? That's how GM used to spend money before they were forced to spend taxpayer money. Um, had that offer been widespread and accepted by the workers, then the U.S. taxpayer wouldn't be on the hook. You also have to ask yourself, too, what did GM know then that caused them to offer to buy out all of their hourly workers? Obviously, they must have sensed that their business model wasn't tenable. If GM is lucky, let's say GM magically overnight, under new management, the most efficient company in the space, maybe they'll be as lucky as Toyota. And of course, as we all know, Toyota lost 40% in the last quarter. Toyota is in tatters and facing major challenges as we speak. So GM, even if it matches the level of efficiency that Toyota currently is operating under, GM might still find itself in a world of hurt. Let's also think about the fact that even if GM were the best run company in the United States, you need to ask yourself how many of us are out right now trying to buy new cars. How many of your friends are buying new cars right now? Not only that, here in California, we have a more foundational question given the collapse of our real estate market. How many of our friends can even qualify for new car loans? If the answer is few, then GM could be a well-run company and not make any money because of a lack of customers. Finally, let's also point out that the bailout, the stimulus, the emergency stimulus package was for more than $750 billion for the economy at large. It was supposed to help us through the most difficult times. Aren't these the most difficult times? Hasn't unemployment crept above 9%? Do a quick YouTube search. You're going to see a lot of pundits panicking when unemployment crept above 8%. We're now above 9%. We're above the Obama administration's worst case scenario. Why hasn't all the money been spent? And should we even spend the money? Only 43 billion of the 750 plus has been spent. We have a multi-trillion-dollar economy. We're already on the way back. We don't need the money to be spent. We're so much on the way back that something you should look out for is whether or not the Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates to contract the money supply. If they do, then we'll be at the high point of incoherent government. We'll have a president and an administration trying to accelerate deployment of a stimulus at the same time that our Federal Reserve is worried about debt and is trying to contract the money supply through increased interest rates. Is that the kind of situation you want? Do we want to go into more debt at a time when the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates to combat inflation? Isn't that the height of irresponsibility and insanity? Let us know what you think. Please leave your comments for me here on YouTube, also at america77.info and keepingitfree.blogspot.com. Also, please stop by seekingalpha.com and look up Dwyer. You'll see whatever articles I have there. I look forward to hearing your comments. Thanks for stopping by.